What's going on, guys? MultiKillsHD here. As most of you guys probably already know, so guys, in this video today I want to go ahead and talk about the Destiny hype train that seems to be slowing down extremely quick, and I want to go ahead and touch upon it. Now, the Destiny hype, as most of you guys probably know by now, has really slowed down in the last couple days. And a lot of YouTubers have stopped posting videos about Destiny, a lot of streamers have stopped streaming Destiny, Reddit, everything that you could think of. A lot of people have lost a lot of interest in Destiny. Now, why would Destiny be failing, you know? Destiny had an amazing launch, came out really strong, and now is starting to get to the point where, you know, it's starting to become a little bit stale. And why is that? What can they do to fix it? So let's go ahead and break this down a little bit further. So a lot of people are probably going to say right off the back, Destiny was, you know, already made to fail right after a launch of Titanfall, which was pretty much a copycat of the game. I don't know which company had it first, which idea, you know, it came from, but it was pretty much a copycat, copy and paste game from Titanfall. That's exactly what it was. It was made to be similar to Titanfall, and they both ended up failing pretty hard. So what was wrong with Titanfall and what was wrong with Destiny? Destiny had a lot of things wrong with it off the back. The game was pretty much developed around random drops. Now, if you had a lot of drop potential and you were lucky with getting, you know, lucky numbers, you were able to get armor and weapons extremely faster than others. And unfortunately, this game doesn't matter on your playtime, it doesn't matter on your skill, it matters on completely random generated drops. What is random generated drops? 1 through 100, for example, it has a chance to hit any one of those numbers in between 1 and 100. Now let's go ahead and say you hit 62. 62 will grant you a certain item. Now if you hit 67, for example, that item is a rare or legendary. Now the chances of you hitting the 67 or 100 are very slim compared to hitting something common or rare. So the game is completely developed around a system that, you know, you may have a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting a rare, you may have a 1 in a, 2,500 chance of getting a legendary, and to get an exotic it may be 1 in 10,000 kills. It's extremely harder to get exotic and raid gear on this game compared to any other gear. Now what was the reason that Titanfall failed? Well, Titanfall failed because there wasn't any customization. This game doesn't really have a whole lot of customization. You know, you don't have the player cards, you don't have the shaders, you don't have a lot of things that they could have implemented that were really simple to help this game. One of the things that Titanfall really did not have was a clan-based competitive scene or anything along those lines, where Destiny had. And I think that's one of the reasons that, you know, behind the scenes kind of thing, I think that's one of the reasons that Destiny really did well, was because, you know, it had a competitive feel, it had the Call of Duty aspect of, you know, everybody enjoying competitive, the Halo little aspect mixed in, and both of those games are extremely competitive games. And, you know, when you mix those two together, you kind of get a competitive game itself, and that is what Destiny multiplayer was meant to be. Now, if Destiny multiplayer was meant to be, you know, competitive off of, you know, pretty much the get-go, like I think it was, or at least targeted to be, they failed really bad at that aspect. The guns are extremely unbalanced. The shotguns can hit you at full range with the same damage than being a foot away from them. That is extremely broken. If you're 55 feet away from somebody, you wouldn't expect somebody to get a headshot one shot compared to somebody sitting point blank. It shouldn't be the same damage, and I think Call of Duty really does that well, and they should have took some pointers from Call of Duty with that aspect. Now, what also has been going on wrong on Destiny in the last couple weeks is Destiny now has an AFK problem. Now, a lot of people have been going away from their controllers, leaving their accounts on at night in the Crucible just to rank up and maybe hit a potential Ascendant shards or exotic bounties or legendary items, whatever the case is, whatever they're aiming for, and that has become a problem. Not only that, God mode problems on Destiny on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 are running rapid. People in the Crucible are running around with God mode left and right. I've ran into about 3 or 4 with them, and honestly, it's just starting to be, you know, more of an annoying hassle than anything to leave the lobby and then find a new one. And not only that, that brings up another point. There is now a new problem where, you know, if you leave the game, you're not getting punished. So what's the point in staying in a game that you're losing if you can just, you know, leave the game, go into a different game, and maybe have a better chance at winning or win the game potentially which if you win the game you get a better chance of getting drops. It's one of those mechanisms that's kind of a big problem, because if you have a more win rates, you're going to get more better drops. Well, what are you going to do if you stay in the game? You have a lower potential of getting drops. Well, if you have a lower potential in getting drops, what's the point in staying in the game itself? And that's one of the other problems. And then to top it all off, one of the problems that are starting to really ruin Destiny is the raid system. For the past week and a half, there's been a raid glitch on the current raid, the Vault of Glass, where all you had to do is throw grenades on him, or just Titan punch him over and over again with a clan, or whatever the case is, or just even solo it. You push him off the edge and it instantly kills him. Now this is getting patched, but I think it's a little bit too late to get patched, because now a lot of the players who wanted to complete the Vault of Glass have already done it. Now if they've already done the raid, they can keep doing newer raids that come out in the future. But a raid's only a raid, and it's only so much fun for a certain period of time. After that, it kind of gets stale. So honestly, there's a lot of things that are really, really great with Destiny, but there's also a lot of things that are really causing it to fall off the hype train, and these are the reasons behind it, and I think a lot of you guys would probably agree with me. Now, instead of being your typical YouTuber and just leaving this at that as an end for a commentary, I'm going to go ahead and say something that what could they do to fix this. So let's go ahead and break down the things that we just talked about. How do we make it not another Titanfall? We need more weapons, we need more customizations, and we need to make it more or less random generated drops. Random generated drops are fun, but when you're putting hours and hours and hours into the game, when it's 10 plus hours, intervals at a time, and you're not getting a drop and somebody gets on 10 minutes later and gets a drop instantly, there's only so many of those that you can have in a row before you're going to lose your mind, I mean, it's happened to me even. I've put triple the time into Destiny than some of my friends, and they got lucky on a couple drops and got to level 30 instantly. And it's upsetting a little bit, because it's like, well, you worked this amount of time, but I worked this much more and that much more time, and I didn't get lucky. And honestly, maybe if you play more, maybe you should have a higher chance of getting a better drop. I don't know how they would implement that into the current system, but it needs something to be done like that, because, I'm okay with them doing that once or twice, getting a luckier drop than me, whatever the case is. But, if it's just consistently just spending 10 minutes for their time to get a drop and me spending 100 hours to get a certain drop, it's going to lose fun a lot quicker than, just having a better chance of getting it. How to fix the AFK problem? You leave the game, you stop moving, or if you sit and spawn, like a spawn circle or something for a period of time, kick you from the game, 5-minute penalty. Call of Duty really fixed that easily, and I think that's one of the things that they really need to do. If you sit and spawn, run around in circles, you get kicked out, you have a 5-minute penalty. If you keep doing it, 15, 60 minutes, etc., etc., time keeps going up, and then resets in 24 hours. So that pretty much means if you had a really, really bad connection day, even if you can't connect, you keep losing connection to games, you will still get punished, but not to the point where, it's unbearable. And I think that's where you kind of got to draw the line, because some legitimate causes do cause people to disconnect in games, and you don't want to give those to the people who are, AFKing or whatever the case is. You need to give them to those type of people and not the people that, just unluckily disconnect in the game, unfortunately. So here is another thing, the God mode problems. Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of things that they're going to be able to do with the God mode JTags on Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3 and jailbroken PS3s. So the best thing I could do is severely punish some of these guys that are doing it. You make an example out of them, a lot of them stop. For example, they did this on Modern Warfare 3, I believe. You punish one of them and give them a lifetime ban on all consoles and further gamer tags similar to yours or whatever the case is, they're not probably going to ever do it again. And unfortunately, that's what we need to do to stop all these glitches for a period of time, I think. Now here is the one thing that they've already said they're going to fix the raid, whatever the case is. That's great and all, but myself and a lot of others, we don't like playing the Vault of Glass 24/7, It shouldn't be Destiny Vault of Glass, for example, because honestly, that's the only way I can level up at this current state. So it would be kind of nice if they implemented a new system, maybe into the Crucible, whereas, let's say, for example, they introduce a new gear, maybe it's a dead orbit, because dead orbit ranks are pretty much useless at this point. Maybe they implement something like dead orbit gear that is similar to raid gear in statistics and, effects on your character or whatever with the leveling system. Maybe make it 15 times harder to get, but maybe have it, a guaranteed route to get some of these raid gear items or equal value to it, because right now it's all 100% luck. You get rid of the 100% luck and make them work for it. I think a lot more people would be willing to go for level 30, because at this point I'm level 27 and like 3/4. I have no interest in even playing this game anymore, because Ascendant shards are extremely hard to get. In the Vault of Glass, I don't have the best of luck, so, you know, honestly, that's just not for me at that point, you know. I don't like playing the Vault of Glass over and over and over again, because it just keeps getting repetitive. I'd rather do something different, and unfortunately, Destiny doesn't seem to have that currently. So unless they start fixing a lot of things, I think the hype train for Destiny is starting to come to an end. You know, I've seen a lot of YouTubers, like I said, leaving the scene. Twitch streamers over Destiny have been leaving the scene. Twitter people have been mentioning Destiny a whole lot less than they did over the last couple weeks. And Call of Duty, Halo, and Grand Theft Auto 5 are around the corner for next generation consoles. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with Destiny and the amount of players on Destiny currently, if that falls off, or maybe it increases toward Christmas. Anyways guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I don't want to drag this video on anymore. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe, and leave me some feedback, guys. Tell me what you guys think. Is these some of the methods that should be implemented into Destiny to kind of make the hype train continue? Or do you think, you know, it's one of those things that Destiny's a little bit too late to the game anymore? You know, Titanfall has already failed miserably at this point. And, you know, maybe it was a game destined to fail from the beginning. You know, who knows? I want to hear your guys' feedback on this, because I really do respect a lot of your guys' opinions on my videos. And this is definitely one of the ones I want to hear from you, so make sure to leave me a comment, guys. Until next time, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name, of course, is MultiKillsHD, and I'm out. Peace.